Thank you. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been a long evening, and some of you have been busy since this morning with your children, and I want to essentially acknowledge you for the time that you're putting in doing that. It's not easy being a parent, most of us know, and we're concerned about your children. We're concerned about all the children in the community. We're concerned about all the community members and their safety. And so I'm glad to hear that there's some sort of accommodation in trying to be able to finance the crossing guards. That said, we recognize that also that we're in for some very difficult fiscal times ahead of us. We have to take out about, I estimate, $6 million, 8% of our budget. And we have to do that this year. We cannot continue to deficit spend. And it's going to require us to prioritize. And I'm not saying anything that all of you haven't said in one way or another.
Is that why you hired an assistant city manager for $250,000 a year salary?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We can't have an outburst from the audience on that. That's a different topic. We'll get you an answer on that.
The major cost in the city happens to be safety and fire, the police and firemen. And that seems to have always been the priorities of the community. We're going to have to look at their compensation some. We're going to have to look at all the packages in that, because that's where the biggest money really is. And once we get that solved, that might help us sort out some of the other problems. We have various employee groups that have been working with us, and we're going to have to continue to work together. We have infrastructure needs, though, that we can't ignore. We can't allow our streetlights to go out. We can't allow our signage to deteriorate. We have to try and maintain our roads somewhat, and we haven't been funding that to the degree that we should. We have to look at the sidewalks. We have to maintain even cleaning up after the trees, lest that they start jamming up our sewer lines and our water capacities into the overflow. So we have a number of things that press against us that are hard for us to avoid. We have wonderful libraries that we don't want to see closed, but we're going to have to look at reduction of days or hours in those fields, those areas. We have wonderful park and recreation programs. We're going to have to curtail some of those. We have our community-based organizations that help support the indigent and the poor and the needy. We're going to have to look at perhaps curtailing that, maybe to about half. We're going to have to look at everything. And we're going to all have to work together. We're going to have to volunteer more, and there's some of you who are volunteering to the max amount right now and putting forth a great deal of effort, and there's some that are doing virtually nothing. We see that every day. I appreciate your comments. This is not going to be an easy year for any of us, but we're listening, and we're trying to make sure that we have the best that we can for our community and that we prioritize along with the community desires.